Well, welcome, everybody. I so appreciate you getting on this call. I know how difficult it is in the summer months, and we all have busy things going on, so I very much appreciate it. And it's good to hear your voices. I'm just going to ask if everybody would just say their names so we have a roll call, please.
Carolyn Durkee.
Suzanne Testani.
Loretta J.
George Field.
Mary Ellen Gavin.
And Laura Inserto. Thank you, everybody. And if we could just take a moment and we'll do our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Justice for all.
Excellent. Thank you. So what I'd like to ask everybody, if I could, is to approve our June minutes. I would need, obviously, a motion and a second, and then any comments.
I'll make that motion, Madam Chairwoman, if there aren't any comments.
And you are?
Suzanne. Sorry.
Thank you.
This is Mary Ellen. I'll second them.
Fabulous. Any comments? Great. Minutes approved. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Excellent. Thank you, Sheila.
Hi, Barbara's here now, too.
Oh, hey, Barbara.
Hey, Barbara.
Hey. Hello.
Hope you had a good vacation, honey.
Thank you.
Yeah, we missed you last month.
Well, I know.
Okay. Carolyn, would you like to give us your report on the Board of Health, please?
Well, everything is still as it was in terms of COVID. There's still really, on that. I did talk to him today, and he said that a third of the town is not vaccinated, and it's the people that are under 44 years old that are not I can't say not cooperating, but they're just not doing it. But he doesn't see at this point in time any real problems with the elderly because I guess pretty much 9 out of 10 of us have already been vaccinated. And his suggestion was just simply stay with the people that you know are vaccinated just to help yourself out. But other than that, he hasn't really gotten into anything else. And I did not talk about the schools. I thought it would be a little bit too early. I could be wrong, but I didn't think we should go over that right now.
Right.
So that's really all I can say.
That sounds prudent. Thank you for that report. The only comment I would make, was there any mention about mask mandates in our town?
No, he said right now just to leave everything the way it is. Okay. Nobody seems to want to put the mask back on. That's really all I can say.
Okay.
So if you're vaccinated, no mask, but what about if you're not vaccinated?
Well, then it's supposed to be if you are vaccinated, then you should be wearing a mask. But in terms of trying to put masks on people that have already been vaccinated, that's not happening right now, which I'm very happy about. I don't know about other people, but
yeah,
I'm not. I don't want to have. I don't know about other women or men, whatever, but I know that with masking, I had a terrible time with my face breaking out. And yes, that's really not a bad thing because I want to live.
Right.
But it just is. There are a lot of annoyances with it, and on a personal level, if I don't have to wear it, I'm not going to. And I think there's a lot of other people like that too.
Yep.
Well, just to make a comment about the age group that we mentioned a minute ago.
Name, y'all.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
It's Suzanne Testani. I know just from talking to our sons and their wives, and they're having children, and they've already had children, and they want more children. They're not getting vaccinated because I guess there's some significant research out there that, And again, I don't know enough about it to get into a full discussion, but I know a lot of them aren't getting vaccinated because they're afraid of
I don't
not
know
being
that.
able to get
I don't
pregnant.
think this is their appropriate place. Excuse me, Suzanne. This is Loretta. I don't know if that's accurate or if this is the place to have this conversation.
Well,
So
no, I'm not, Loretta. Let me just clarify.
I don't know that,
I'm not getting into personal reasons. I'm just maybe throwing it out there as to some of the reasons
you're throwing
why
it out there with you're not a researcher, and I don't know that this is accurate information that you're saying. So I don't know that it belongs in our meeting, since you're not a health official. So I think we should stay out of why your son or personal reasons why people may not be getting vaccinated, but focus on what is being reported from the health department.
Right. I understand that, Loretta. I wasn't just talking about my children. They're in that age group under 45. So that's the only reason why I brought it up.
And we do appreciate that report very much, Carolyn. Thank you. And does anyone have any other comments based on Carolyn's report? All right.
This is Mary Ellen. I've been working in the Equity Health clinics for the last month and a half, and a lot of that age group of 24 to about 40 that are hesitant about receiving the vaccine. So it's a real problem. There's lots of concerns. Most of them have been alleviated scientifically, but we just have to do a lot more education to our public.
Do you have any suggestions about how we could do that, Muriel? And maybe we could, go offline on that. I'm sure, people in town
I'm
and
telling
the
you,
health department.
what I can say is it has been like a spigot that is turned off. And I'm doing the inner city clinics right now. I've done about 20 of them. And some people I talk to for 20, 25 minutes. I can share that when you get the information regarding when the FDA is going to give final clearance for this, there's talk about it being as early as September until January. It's probably going to be in September because all the information by Pfizer was submitted at the beginning of June, and it's usually a 3-month process, and they put a lot more researchers at the FDA on it to try to get through all the hurdles you need to get through for final drug approval. So, on the inside, listening to this, we're hopeful that by September it will get final clearance from the FDA, and that will cause some people who are hesitant to hopefully comply. I think what the town could be doing and what we could be doing overall as healthcare people is doing a much better job in educating people on what this really is. We've come out as healthcare professionals saying you should get it, but no one's really explained it at a simpler level so people understand the scientific principles behind it. And I think that's caused a lot of fear, anxiety, and misinformation. So I think we can be doing a better job, meaning healthcare providers, in educating people in understandable terms as to what this technology is.
Interesting.
Laura,
Go ahead.
This is Barbara. I had a question also about what are we hearing about the boosters. I know there's been, some mixed information on that, but I don't want us to be caught, when they say you need a booster and it's available in September, I think we, have our ducks in order if suddenly now we get a lot of coming forward for the boosters, so similar to how you gave the vaccines, and it was, so big, be ready to put in place, a way for people to get boosters.
Well, as far as I know with the boosters, because I've been paying. Pardon?
I was wondering.
No, not really. We don't have any information
on. Okay.
Yeah, no, we don't have anything information from SANS on that yet.
Yeah, because I know, I'm kind of following, as the good rabbi in the group, I follow what Israel's doing because they really were a little ahead of us, and with the Pfizer, and they've now started to give boosters out because they're finding that it isn't as, the effectiveness starts to wane against this new Delta variant, and so I was just, I don't want us to, be caught where all of a sudden they make an announcement, because, I work at Watermark, and that's where I got my vaccine in January. 3030 Park, and they're already saying the health department has sort of given them some indication that as of September there might be something with boosters. And so, as I said, I'm just like hearing, stuff about these boosters and wanted to just put it out there that I don't want Julie to like, oh my God, now we've got to go do this boosters.
Yeah. Well, my guess is Brenda's a very good communicator through her weekly updates, or every 2 weeks. I can't remember how often I get them, but probably she'll raise that. Do you get those updates, by the way, Barbara, in your email from Brenda Kupchak?
Not that I know.
Town updates. I'll forward you one, and then you can get your name added, because I think it'd be really helpful. You'll get the most up-to-date information probably from that.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, I get stuff like from Brenda, that kind of stuff, but I don't think from the health department.
Well, she covers issues like that in her updates, but if you don't get it, I'm happy to send it to you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Laura, I was just...
Laura, it's Carolyn.
George.
Excuse my voice.
Is that you, Carolyn?
What everybody is saying reminds me that when I was on the House...
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Hello. Carolyn.
Going into all of this,
there she is.
and everybody needs to be reminded that this is not going away.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a cyclical thing. We have to do it almost all the time.
Yes.
Right.
I agree.
Well, Laura, it's George. All I was going to say was that when it comes to disseminating information or encouraging people to get vaccinated, I think everything needs to come out of the health department, because one of the major problems has always been conflicting information. So I think there really needs to be one source, and for our town, that's going to be the health department. We can
that
support
would be
whatever
through Carolyn, George? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Carolyn would give us that info?
Yeah, Carolyn, and Sans Clary, but that the information should come from there, and not from us, because we don't want to diverge at all from what the health department is saying. And unfortunately, in this whole area, a few words here or a few words there, people may misinterpret. So I just think we should leave it to the health department to make any and all announcements and guidelines. We can always refer people to them, but I think there should be one voice to the town, and that's
totally agreed, George. It's Suzanne. Totally agree.
I'm just concerned because we're not meeting again now till September, and if there's anything that would come out, we're not going to have a report from Carolyn until then. So, Julie, what do you suggest for people keeping on top of the issues if they, materialize between now and the end of September?
I think that following Brenda Kupchak's, biweekly email update is a great idea. Anything that's released through the town and the health department will be released through Brenda or through Sans in the paper, or also in her update. So that's the perfect way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you. Agreed. Because I don't want anyone to miss it, whatever will come out. Hopefully nothing, right? We all want to think positive on this. I'm just... my little niece got it, and she's down in the city, and it just scares me, And my cousins got it who already had been vaccinated, okay? So there's a lot going on out there.
They're a breakthrough case.
Yeah.
Yep.
No doubt about it.
Anybody else have anything under Board of Health? Fantastic.
I guess this is Mary Ellen. I guess it would be a request, and it regarding the education of our citizens, that we simplify and give, in adult learning principles, adults need to know the rationale as why they're being told things, not just to take a vaccine because it's the right thing. So there are some educational materials about what an mRNA vaccine is and very simple terminology that maybe the health department could utilize in educating some of our public, because it's a very confusing topic. But there are some simplified ways, and it might get some of these people that are hesitating over the goal line.
I understand what you're saying. Actually, if it does come out of the health department, then people will look at it as a valid source of information rather than coming out of, another area.
Right. Yes, but in a simplified way, because, and there are explanations out there. Northwell Health has done a great job with their patient education material. That's my only recommendation, because everything is so sophisticated. It's hard for a lot of people to understand the principles behind it, and a lot of people need that information before they're going to make the decision to go forward with it or not.
Carolyn Durkee, this is Laura. What would you think about making a suggestion like that to SANS from our commission?
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
Mary Ellen, do you have those materials?
Yeah.
No, I don't have the materials. It's from Northwell Health, and I quote it, and I'll give you the short example. People don't understand what mRNA is, and so the way I start the conversation out with people is, do you know what an email is? And they're all like, yeah, I know what an email is. And I'm like, do you know how you well, no, because it's a really good teaching thing, because, the average rate of reading curve 20, 30 years ago was 6th grade level, and you're supposed to have all your educational material at 6th grade level or below, and our levels have decreased since then, so probably 5th grade or below for patient education material. So you say, do you know what an email is? Like, yeah, I know what an email is. I'm like, well, and you know how when you read an email and you understand the information and then you delete the email, and they're like, yeah, I get that. And I'm like, well, mRNA is messenger RNA, and it is like sending an email to your cell, not to your DNA, that tells your cell to recognize this virus and to fight it. And then the mRNA deletes itself. And it's just, I'm not taking credit for that. Northwell Health did it. They don't have any handouts about it. I've looked for it. But if someone would take the time to try to do that in a simplified manner, it's like light bulbs go off in people's heads. You can see them like, oh, so I just think as a medical, as healthcare providers, and myself included, we've dropped the ball with education. So I think as we go into potential boosters, or we're trying to get this other 33% inoculated, coming up with some simplified patient education material and having posters, to me it's a no-brainer, but who's going to do it? You know what I mean? So I just think we have really dropped the ball in educating our people. So that would be my recommendation to someone put that together.
Okay, could you do me a favor? Could you, not necessarily on this meeting, but could you, I'm sure my phone number is on the list, to call me so that we can talk about this a little bit between you and me, because I'm not the most knowledgeable person that should probably be on that committee, and I don't want to screw it up.
Yeah.
Because, I will definitely talk to SANS about this. I understand the education is absolutely necessary, but I'm not sure how to do it in terms of healthcare language.
Sure.
Do you kind of know what I'm trying to tell you?
Yeah, I do, and I'll be glad to give that analogy again. But it's going to take, because I used to write patient education material many years ago, and it takes a lot of research to come up with that. You know what I mean? But I'll be glad to. Who is this, and what's your phone number? And I'll be glad to give you a call later.
Okay, it's Carolyn Durkee.
Before you don't want that in the minutes. So how about you guys connect offline by email? It's Julie. I think we should probably move on, because it's just really, we're just talking about the report from the Board of Health, and we've kind of gone down a wormhole to a different area. So I'm going to try to reel us back into whatever's next on the agenda.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, Julie.
Well, Julie, you've got all my stuff, so.
I do, yep. And you guys you have the same email, so everybody gets the same emails.
Okay. All right.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, everybody. That was a good conversation, but we did get a little off track here. And I'm sure you'll do that sidebar. So now on to the Human Services Commission Research Project. First and foremost, I want to thank you all who have, been interested, emailed, and really worked hard at this. There are some of us like me who haven't even gotten to my part yet, because I've had some things with my mom and I was traveling, so I just want you all to know, anybody that did meet that deadline, greatly appreciated, and it's now on me to put all of that information into one report, which I will do. I really wanted to have it for you today, but it just wasn't going to happen, so please accept my apology on that. And those of you who haven't had the time, I get it. Please, if you could take the next month or so to get it to me, I'd like to get this together in a full report out to everybody by our September meeting, if that works for everybody. So not to, diminish the work that's been put in, because, I spent time on the phone with Linda, and I thank you, Linda, and Brenda Steele, and all of it has been very valuable. And I'm reading everything that's come in so far. I just haven't been able to put the report together yet for this meeting, and we didn't really want it to be a very long meeting since it is the summer months and we want to move on. So thank you, everybody, and just keep me informed as to when you can get that information to me. Just email me, okay?
Okay.
Anybody have any questions about?
Well, I had a question. I didn't know if it was me, but I did my research and I sent it to you, but I don't know if I did enough in what you were actually looking for, but I couldn't seem to get that spreadsheet. I couldn't use it. Maybe it was just me, but was I supposed to try to put my information on that spreadsheet?
Yeah, what you normally do is you take the spreadsheet I sent, you save it to your desktop or whatever, and then you add your information, save it, and send it to me. That's really how a worksheet like that is utilized.
All right, for some reason I couldn't get it to be live. I couldn't see what was already on it, and I couldn't put I couldn't, but maybe it was just me. I'll try again, but I did send you just, a form with my stuff on it, but if you want, I'll take the time to try to get it on that sheet, but I was technology challenged.
I will definitely I'll put it on for you. It's not a huge issue. Loretta's suggestion, to go back to Loretta, in our last meeting, was to use a Google document, which is it's called Google Docs. It's a live document that people can see what everybody's adding. I personally am not good at it. I commend people like Loretta who are, but I just didn't want to make this any more difficult than it kind of was, and that's why Linda and I agreed.
All right, I can always get Loretta to walk me through it, too.
Oh, no, you're not doing it. No, you don't need to, because we're not using
Barbara.
that. What you did is exactly what we needed. So,
and by the way, I just looked. I'm sitting at my computer, and I just Googled explanation of the mRNA vaccine for non-science people, and that email analogy comes up in almost every one of the different things. So I think it's easy to just look it up. It's right there. So I just put in email explanation, and a bunch of them came up. So
thank you, Barbara.
We don't have to reinvent anything. It's right out there.
One more comment about the research. So Brenda and I discussed there really isn't a so-called directory for senior centers, okay, that we could refer to for phone numbers or emails or whatever. So if anybody would like to take the time to make a phone call to those 7 towns that you were provided and just ask them if they charge a membership fee, I think that's going to be the best way to handle that. Okay.
Excuse me. Hey, Laura?
There's really no way we're going to find that online, I don't think.
Yeah. It's Julie. Brenda and I have been working on putting that together, so we can pass on that, and I'll send it out to you with the minutes, the list of the membership fees that we did get. We probably have 20-something on there, so no need to do it.
Great. Thank you, Julie.
So
okay,
this is
everybody.
Loretta. This is Loretta. Julie and Brenda, my 7, I did get that information. I found it online. So don't duplicate those.
Yep.
And it is available online. You just have to look in terms of even Googling membership for the town and senior center, and you can find that information.
Oh, good, because I know some people weren't able to find it. So that's the best way to do it. You think, Loretta? Just Google it.
If it wasn't apparent when I landed on the landing pages or a couple of links in, then I would just Google that specific ask, and I would come to information about membership.
Right.
Great. All right. Anybody have any other question about the research project?
Nope. I think we're good with the senior center piece of it. So we can focus on the Human Services Commission's one with that, because I think we have enough to go on with the senior center membership piece.
Okay. Well, it's Suzanne. I just wanted to say that I found it interesting that a few of the towns and the cities that I was assigned to are having quarterly meetings every year. So I thought that was an interesting point. That
You mean the commissions are?
Joint meetings, or that they're only meeting quarterly?
They in the different municipalities, they don't all call them Human Services Commissions. Some of them had different titles. I'd have to look at my spreadsheet that I've already sent to Laura, but they are meeting quarterly.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Yeah, and I will make note of that on the Excel sheet. No problem. All right.
Well, you should have mine too, Laura. I sent it. I hope you got it.
I did. Thank you.
Okay, great.
I
didn't realize you were away, so I'm sorry about that.
No problem. Nope. So I guess we can move on then to new business. Any new business? Nice. Okay. Not for now. Department update. Julie.
I think I'll let Brenda go first with the Bigelow Center section of the update, and then I'll take it after she's all done.
Great.
Hi, this is Brenda. How's everyone? So we have been open now for 2 weeks. It's gone really well. We had our reopening on our first day on Monday, July 12th. And it was really great to get people in the building, and people are signing up. We have, as I've mentioned before, a new registration process, so it's working, and we're helping people that are not able to register online and either doing it for them, or we have some registration help to assist those on the iPads and help them register online. So that's going well as well, and we're happy about that. It helps us on this side, on the administrative side, just so we know, definitely who's in the building, and helps us keep track of classes, attendees. So it's really helping us. People are really happy to be here. We've got a variety of our classes and events, and as we mentioned, we're opening slowly with limited classes and limited numbers, and it seems to be working. We're adding classes already for August, and then we'll work towards our fall semester, and we'll be hopefully adding more classes and events. We're kind of waiting to see what happens with the variant and things like that, but all is going well so far. People are wearing masks as they come into the building. Once they get to their activity, they can take it off. There are signs posted everywhere saying if you're unvaccinated, masks must be worn. They're mandatory. So everything seems to be going well, really well.
Excellent.
We're excited.
Excellent. You did a great job on the opening day event. Linda was there. I was there. Carolyn was there.
Yes, thank you.
Very well done.
That was a good showing.
Mm-hmm. It sure was.
It sure was. That was great.
Brenda, this is George.
Hi, George.
I have a quick question. Have you been able to assess the extent, if any, to which our seniors are fearful of leaving their homes?
Not really. I mean, we're not. I think some people are choosing to stay home. We aren't. Most classes are pretty much full, but again, we have limited numbers. So I think that there's probably a portion that are staying home. But I don't think I could give a number. Julie, I don't know if you could really. But
no, I think you're right. I think the other part of it, George, is that some of them, it's not a drop-in site right now. So if somebody used to come in for coffee and would hang out and stay for lunch, and then they take the bus home or go home after their friends leave, we don't have that opportunity right now. So that if they're not taking a class, there's no reason to be here. So that's one of the ways that we're seeing that they're not coming in. But there definitely are people who are uncomfortable coming in a crowd, whether or not they're vaccinated. As Brenda said, we do require the masks, so as they come in, and it's, we're not getting any pushback on that, but there's definitely people who are worried about the variant and about the breakthrough cases. We hear that outside when they're here at lunch, that they're not necessarily comfortable coming in, but outside's good. But not a statistic that's definitive, just more chit-chat.
Okay, so not so sizable that you think it's a community concern.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
no.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And this is Barbara, is there any hybrid, any opportunities people could take things still online? I don't know if you really had that much.
Yes,
you
we
did.
are still
Yes, so
offering
that's
some,
still options?
Yep. Yes, right now it is, yes. So some people
Good.
are doing that as well. Mm-hmm.
And that's outlined in the Bigelow Center News, correct, Brenda?
Correct. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, good.
In the newsletter, it lists everything that we have, yes.
All right.
Anything
Thanks,
else?
Great, thanks.
All right, so for social services and the rest of the department, I got a few things to discuss with you. We are part of the funding for, I just have to remember what the actual name of the America Rescue Plan Act funding. The town is applying for up to $25 million for funds, to help us to recover from COVID. And we have a few things on that list that impact us directly. There was a forum about it on Monday. There'll be another one in September. There may be one earlier than that, but so if you see an announcement, I'll make sure you get it if I get it in an email or watch Brenda Kupchik's email. So the areas that we recommended were the mental health areas. We suggested but mental health will be an issue. Nobody knows the impact yet of COVID on mental health long term. The funds are for 3 years. They go over the course of 3 years. So there's $150,000 that would go that is proposed to go to Operation Hope, to 3 nonprofits: Operation Hope, LifeBridge, which runs Fairfield Counseling behind Town Hall, and Child and Family Guidance. LifeBridge, the Fairfield Counseling and Child and Family Guidance are already partners with us with several different programs, but what's important about them, you know all about Operation Hope, so I don't need to fill you in on that, but the other 2 agencies are able to earmark those funds for Fairfield residents so that people can reach out and we can refer people to them no matter the age and without regard for affordability. So they can target mental health services and make available mental health services for Fairfield residents under this funding with their proposed funding, and that's $150,000 apiece. Also in this proposal is $250,000 for COVID Recovery Fund, which is like the COVID relief fund that we had early on. This is a fund to help people as they're recovering from COVID. We haven't set up the parameters or the eligibility requirements, but it is definitely a necessary fund to have to help families, because as great as we're doing and as much as we're coming out of this, it is very hard to catch up if there were issues or you were sick or you lost a job or you lost hours. So that's an exciting piece. The senior center renovation is included in this. It's $850,000 for the HVAC system, the kitchen, and the bathrooms. Those are proposals that you might remember that we got involved in a design in the non-recurring budget last year, the design piece of it, and this is the next step of that. So that's $850,000 for 3 very necessary projects, and whatever remediation goes along with that. And there's an enhancement piece of it, which is to extend the patio out front and improve the sidewalks, not only for to just increase the space we have for outdoor events, but to make it accessible, because it is not right now, and to extend a sidewalk that's in front of the building from one end of the building to the other and make that accessible as well. And finally is a consultant, an ADA consultant, who will work with our new commission when it's established and identify gaps and omissions in policies and procedures. I'm reading to you now from the proposal, and architectural barriers limiting access to programs and services, and present recommendations for adoption by the town as its compliance and transition plan for the town. So all of these are really good, not only for the community, but for the senior center and for social services. So before I move on to the next thing, any questions so far?
How much is that one, the ADA?
It's for a consultant, and it's for $75,000.
Okay.
And these are not set in stone. There have to be votes on it. There's going to be input, public opinion. There's going to be all sorts of input. So these are the proposals.
Yeah.
This is Mary Ellen. I think those are great proposals. I'm throwing this out there because I don't know. I'm new on this commission, but has it been discussed about possibly building a new senior center? Not with this funding, but has that ever been discussed? Applying some of these fundings towards that.
It has. It's really not something we're pursuing. That's we serve where the senior center is located. That's more of a town decision, not a commission decision. So, if the town ever decided that it wanted a new senior center, then we'd serve wherever they place us.
Got it. Thank you for that clarification.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Anything else so far? Before I jump along? All right. The state has announced that there is a new elder justice hotline that was set up recently to specifically address any kinds of scams or abuse or concerns for seniors. It's an 800 number. It's not 800. It's 860. It's 860-808-5555. And you'll be reading a lot about this. What they're looking for is an opportunity for people who are victims of scams or neglected, exploited, or abused to be able to have a resource to call and to get help immediately. So that's great. Next is, and I will send you all these, and to you, Sheila, as well, links to these so you can read them at your leisure. The next is that through the Center for Senior Center Personnel, of which Brenda and I are members, there's the release of the Connecticut Healthy Aging Data Report for 2021. Tufts University puts this together, and what it does is break down each municipality, town and municipality in Connecticut, and breaks it down by household income, level of education, home ownership, health issues, racial makeup of communities. Let me see what else is on here. All sorts of just data, just what's going on in our town and the community, who has what diseases, what of reported cases, whether it's health, housing opportunities, impact of race and ethnicity, transportation, all sorts of issues that impact our town and decision making. That just recently came out, and hopefully it will get looked at by our town planners and our different agencies, and definitely by us, about how we can better address the aging population. So that'll be coming your way. We met, Brenda and I and Jen, our new activities coordinator, met with the Fairfield Senior Advocates about a number of issues, one being the possibility or interest, or trying to find the interest level of Fairfield becoming an age-friendly community like Greenwich and I think 7 or 8 others in Connecticut. So we're starting to take a look at that, and that will definitely be something that comes to this commission. It is not led by the commission; it's led by the town, but we're not there yet. So it was just an initial conversation about it.
And could you send us anything? Because I know in my research, this is Barbara, that I saw Greenwich, because I had Greenwich, and I didn't know what an age-friendly community entailed, what that was.
Right. We definitely can. And Suzanne was part of the staff at Greenwich Senior Center while that was happening.
Oh.
So certainly, as we get into this, maybe not today because it's just we really haven't started and we don't know that we're pursuing it, but
right.
If maybe you could, Suzanne, if you could give us a quick overview of what that means, that would be helpful.
Well, it was quite involved, and one of the things in Greenwich was our plant. We had a very, very old building, a very multi-leveled building, and it was a very hard thing for us to achieve. I did retire in 2017 before the project was complete.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah.
But it's community wide. It's not just the senior center, right? It's town facilities, it's town parks, it's town processes. So it's interesting. But yes, Barbara, I would certainly send you links to that.
Okay, no, I was just curious, because I saw it. It came up a couple of times, and I thought, that sounds interesting, but I didn't know quite what it was.
Well, we
made sure, it's Suzanne. We made sure we kept very good. I'm sorry, Laura. It's Suzanne.
Okay.
We made sure we kept good lines of communication open with different elected bodies in town. We made sure people were interested and came to the senior center and, all that. So they would be educated on what kind of role the senior center played in the community because, we wanted to educate the public as much as we could.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Herb's group, Fairfield Senior Advocates, as Julie mentioned, has been doing lots of research on the subject as well. And he sent us some information in the past, so you can probably look through those emails too.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Speaking of which, I didn't get a report from Herb this month.
I don't think they met. They met. So I just have a couple other little things. Right now we're pursuing a new bus through a grant through the state. That's usually, you'll remember that we do a grant every 2 years, and it typically covers 80% of the cost, and out of donations we pay 20%. But this year the grant is covering 100% of the bus if we're lucky enough to get it.
Oh, good.
So we're in the process of submitting that. We met with Tony Long, Brenda and I, and Jen again, just briefly, and discussed having our state delegation have some kind of event here in the fall to meet and greet seniors and talk about new legislation. We'll keep you posted when that is. And lastly is on Friday, a week from today, so July 30th, Brenda Kupchik is going to be coming to our lunch at noon to give us a proclamation on the ADA anniversary. So the Americans with Disabilities Act Anniversary is actually Monday, but because we'll have a crowd for lunch on Friday, she'll be coming. And you'll know that Loretta has been working very hard on that, and I owe Loretta like 18 phone calls about just the press release and the release of this information. But so, the formation of the commission will be announced. Brenda will have her a proclamation to give us, and I'm hoping that any and all of you can attend that because it's very, very exciting.
Nice. Is that at noon?
It is at noon.
Okay, cool.
And do you need to know in advance that we're coming?
Yes, if you'd let us know, that'd be great.
Okay.
Okay, that was a lot of information. Any questions?
That's a week from tomorrow, right, Julie?
Yeah. Yes, it is a week from tomorrow. Sorry.
Okay.
Yep.
And anybody
it's at noon?
Yes.
Anybody that hasn't registered yet to be a member of the Senior Center this year, you need to do that either online or in person with a form.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And it's easy, nice and easy online, and you have until September. And that's how we're doing most of our registrations, as Brenda said, unless somebody doesn't have a computer.
Perfect. Now, will we be meeting, Julie, the next time in person in September? I see our next meeting is September 23rd. Everybody mark your calendar.
I don't know. I don't know where we'll be. I know the town is working towards a hybrid approach to meetings because so many more people are in attendance when there's the opportunity to be online and to be able to do it from anywhere. So I don't know. I'm not sure. But as soon as I know, I'll let you know. My feeling is probably because things are opening up and getting better. But we might be able to do it as a hybrid. I'll have to get back to you on that one.
Okay.
All righty.
Thank you.
Folks, it's Suzanne. I'm going to have to take my leave. Thank you so much.
See you, Suzanne.
Thank you, Suzanne.
Thank you very much, Julie, for all that, and Laura for all that wonderful information. Great job.
You too. Thank you.
All righty. Bye-bye.
See you in September.
Bye. Anybody have any other business? Excellent. Well, thank you, everybody. Again, Julie, excellent report. You've been busy, and we know that. And we appreciate everything you do, let me tell you. And I know about the behind-the-scenes people, too, so please extend our thanks to them as well. If anybody doesn't have anything else to add, then I think we can bring our meeting to an adjournment. And I'll need a motion, please.
All right, it's Linda. I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
And Barbara seconds.
Excellent. Any comment? All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right.
Aye.
Well, enjoy your month off, everybody, and thank you again.
Thanks, Laura.
Thank you. Good meeting.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Stay well.